Welcome to the Agape Podcast. I'm Beck, a passionate, sold-out lover of Jesus who accidentally started a Christian singles ministry, and now I want to help as many people as possible to find their husband or wife while being super healthy and full of hope. So get ready for some real, raw talk about all things singleness and dating. Hello, everyone, and welcome to our latest episode of the Agape Podcast. I am Beck Chamberlain, and I am so excited to be talking to you today. Honestly, I have not done a podcast in a good couple of weeks, and there is good reason for that. And so I'm really excited to tell you what I've been up to. But first of all, I want to let you guys know that there are really, really cool things coming. We are getting the Agape website up and running, ready to go. And as a special treat, we also have a matchmaking site that is being created. So I'm really excited about that. I'm going to talk more about that. So basically, for the last month, I have been working really, really, really hard. And God has really shown up to do with the Agape dating platform. And He has just been such a God of abundance and blessing. Even just saying that, I just feel the presence of the Lord because He has just really met me. And so I just want to tell you guys a little bit of the story about what happened, how that came about. I remember it was about a month ago, it was a Monday, and I was feeling a little bit discouraged. I really wanted to create an amazing platform for you guys where you could meet kingdom singles. I'm not seeing amazing kingdom dating sites or apps or anything like that. And my heart is to create something like that so you guys can actually find other people who love Jesus too and believe in the same things and, want to create a family of revivalists together. And so, but I was feeling a bit discouraged, and this happens. God calls you to something. It doesn't really matter what it is. You're going to have the highs and the lows. Yay, God's called me and I'm going on this word. And then, oh my gosh, where is He? I'm trying to do this and it feels like it's kind of in my own strength. And that was kind of the point I was getting to. If you guys know the story, we've gone through 5 developers at this point. Countless hours. It's basically been a part-time job for the last year and a half trying to get some sort of platform up and running. And so in the beginning, we started with apps, and we found that apps weren't really going to work. The cost was just so astronomical that we decided, okay, let's start with websites. And so we started with a website, and then we went through, I think, 3 website developers as well, and learned a lot, got a little bit deceived a few times, but it came out a lot more savvy afterwards. And so on that Monday, about a month ago, I was like, oh, Lord, we just keep hitting these brick walls, and I don't have vision for this. I don't know what to do. And I spoke to one of my friends, and he was just like, just go for it, because I'd been kind of thinking about hiring a developer off a certain website, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I should. You got to pay for the website. It's a bit of an expense. And he just said, just go for it. I know plenty of people who've done it through this website, and it's been fine. So I decided to take the plunge, and that day, I found somebody. And this person has been incredible. And so we've been working pretty closely together over the last month. And he saw a lot of the problems we were having. He came in and he started fixing them. We are really focusing on having just our beta launch ready to go. So if you don't know what beta is, the beta version is basically the features are all there. Everything's kind of functionally ready, but maybe the design, the look, might change, and it's going to be based on feedback from users. So once we launch our beta version, there'll be obviously a discounted price. People can use it. They can give feedback on what they would like to have improved, and based on that feedback, we will continue to improve the site and eventually then launch it to the greater world out there. And so we've really been working diligently at that, and that's why I've been a little bit MIA. I've been MIA on social media because I've just been pouring my days, my nights, some of my weekends into getting this site ready. And I'm really excited about it. We've had people run through it already. and they're getting excited about it, which actually makes me really excited. We've also added some extra courses, which I'm super excited about. I'll be recording a course shortly, which is a kingdom dating course with one of my friends, and really just talking about what does it look like to bring kingdom into dating, and how does that flow in every area of our life, especially dating. My heart is really to see Christ represented well in dating. And I think a lot of us, unfortunately, don't do the best job of that. And I was just as guilty when I was single. There is definitely ways I could have been more honoring, more caring, more kind. I could have loved the person really well. I could have left them better off than when they first met me. But I didn't know these principles. I didn't know that there was even such a thing as kingdom dating until really recently. And getting involved in the singles ministries that I've been involved in has really opened my eyes to that, actually, of, oh, hey, we're called to be better and different than the pattern of the world. But how we date looks really similar. There's not really that much variation between a Christian dating experience and a worldly dating experience, except that sex is usually not on the cards. But other than that, the way we're treating one another, the way we're ghosting, the way we're texting, the verbiage, how it's all about attraction. A lot of these things have kind of been really on my heart of, is this kingdom, is this God's heart for how Christians are meant to do this process? And so we're going to be filming a course that's going to be on the platform all about that, which I'm really excited about. One of my awesome friends and admins in one of the groups, Josh, will be helping me and doing that with me. And he is just an absolute wealth of knowledge. He interned under Steve Backlund for his third year at the ministry school that we're at. And so if you know Steve Backlund, there's just so much wisdom to be gleaned from him. So I'm really excited about that. The other reason it's taken me about a month to record my next podcast since the last one is because I've been super unwell. I got hit out of the blue about 2 weeks ago and really just knocked my socks off. Like, I had a cold and that wasn't so bad. But it got worse and worse and worse to the point where I was like super fatigued. I had like muscle pains. My nose is like a tap, would not stop running. And, I couldn't concentrate. I started having pains in my head, in my, just above my sinuses, in my cheeks. And, there was a bunch of other stuff that was going wrong too. But even my husband, Nick, got sick. And so we're like, what is going on? And so obviously we went and got our COVID test, because I thought, oh man, is this COVID? This feels way worse than when I had COVID last time. I hope, I was half hoping it was COVID, because I was like, it really wasn't that bad of an experience for me last time, and maybe it'll just be over really quickly. But then we got the COVID test and we waited a couple days and it came back negative. So it wasn't COVID. Nick got a negative test too. Our whole house tested negative. But everybody's been really sick basically in my town because the seasons are changing. And so I actually found out I just had a really bad sinus infection. And so without getting too crass, I did some little nasal plunges and stuff, and I'm feeling a lot better. Guys, being stuck on the couch sucks. And for days on end, especially if you're a 7-wing-8. I don't know. I think my fellow 7-wing-8s can really attest to this. It is rough when you want to be where the people are and you want to be active and doing stuff, and you literally are forced to just sit and stop and rest. But I had so many amazing times with the Lord through that. And one really incredible thing that happened, and this is the testimony, because not only did I find that incredible developer, but I was like, oh gosh, it's quite an expense, starting a website. This does cost a lot of money. People don't realize actually the time, the effort, and the energy and the resources that you need to do something like this. And so I had just posted a video on one of my Facebook groups, and I was just kind of like, hey, this is an update where we're at, what I'm doing. And I really briefly mentioned finances, like, hey, if you can pray for finances, that would be great. And that day somebody contacted me and said, hey, I want to send you some money. And this was not somebody that I knew. And I said, hey, that's, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It's totally not necessary, but if you would like to, anything's a blessing. That person sent me almost $1,300, which was the exact amount that I'd been praying for. and like kneading, basically to cover the development work for the previous month. And I was just like, Jesus, you are so good. He is such an incredible provider. You know, the awesome thing about doing these things, it doesn't matter if God calls you to start a dating platform or if he calls you to go to the nations or, you know, become a lawyer. It's like he provides for the things that he calls you for, and calls you to. And it doesn't even matter how low the lows are, because I find he still meets me in those places. But I also found he started speaking to me and saying, you know, will you be faithful when it doesn't happen as quickly as you thought it was going to? I mean, last June, when we started this whole process, I thought we would be up and running in 3 months. And here we are a year and a half later, and we're still tilling the soil. But will you be faithful with the message that I've given you? Will you be faithful with the call on your life? And, you know, I've just found when you partner with God and you partner your faith with his, the answer is always yes and amen. Like, if this is what you have called me to, yes, it is so worth it. And so that was another testimony and another blessing. You know, I have an intercessory team that prays for me and for the agape and for kingdom marriages. You know, every week I give them prayer points and they actually pray into this stuff. And so, little side plug, if you are an intercessor and you have a heart for marriages and you have a heart for kingdom singles meeting one another, please let me know if you would like to be on our intercessory team, because we always need more people praying into what God is doing and preparing the soil for the harvest. So yeah, all that being said, it has been a whirlwind last month. Haven't been getting super lot of self-care, which, guys, self-care is so important. Make sure you're taking the time for that. Make sure you're taking the time to go out and do things that bring you life. Make sure you're taking the time to feel your feelings. The biggest thing that I'm realizing in this season is that if I don't allow myself to feel what I'm feeling, and this doesn't mean sitting in them or wallowing in them, but if I feel sad, if I'm just like, oh, quick, okay, on to the next thing, I'm ready to be happy again, then I'm not actually giving God the opportunity to come and meet me in that place and speak to me about my sadness. I'm not giving him the opportunity to come and dig out the roots of that sadness and actually bring healing and freedom into my life. And so one thing I've really been going after is sitting in emotion. And that's a form of self-care, because my whole life have been so quick to move on to the next thing. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit sad. Okay, where's the fun? Where's the fun? And my 7 wing 8 Enneagram comes really, really out, and it is super strong. And I'm like, I just want to be where the fun is. I remember when Nick and I started, I don't know if we were dating. No, I think we're married. And he would be having a rough time. And I was just like, can you just be happy? Because you're really like harshing my vibe here. You know, like, can you just choose to be happy? Because like, oh my gosh, you got so much stuff going on and it's like really not fun. And I would choose not to be with him in his pain and sadness. I would want to go and do something else, which obviously is not conducive to connection or trust. So I had to get over that. But it was really good. It was a good lesson, because another thing I'm learning is to sit with people in their emotions too, and to care for them in that way. But because I don't do it for myself, I can't expect, like, I don't naturally do it for other people. And so that's just a really amazing journey. Honestly, guys, when you partner with Holy Spirit, he brings things up in your heart. When I get triggered, when I have emotions come up, it's an amazing opportunity to really dig deep with the Lord and ask him, like, oh, why is this coming up? He will lead you. He will guide you into so much truth and freedom. And I really believe that during dating, this is going to happen more and more and more. And it's an incredible opportunity for personal growth and sanctification. When these things come up, it's like, oh, these things shouldn't live in you. You know, this root of anger or bitterness or hatred or jealousy or contempt or lies that you're believing, this shouldn't actually be a part of who you are, because this is not how I created you and you're a new creation. And so let's go after what is the root of that. Get rid of that root and then replace it with truth. And I've just found so much freedom come in that. And so really taking the time for self-care for me in this past season has looked like that, allowing myself to feel feelings. But anyway, that's kind of a overview of what's been going on. I'm super excited. We are getting closer and closer to launch date. We are doing filming. I'm writing so many emails to keep you guys updated in what's going on. We are starting ad campaigns. We're going to be starting ad campaigns basically to have amazing godly men join the platform because we know that in the church, ratios are a little bit off. It's about 70% women, 30% men, just in the church in general, in the global church. And so we want to go, okay, how can we attract amazing godly men to this platform? And so we're going to be running Facebook ads, and we've started doing that and really giving away some amazing free content to kingdom men, and then asking them if they would like to join the Agape platform to meet some amazing kingdom women. And so I'm really excited about that. Please pray that those ads reach the right people. I am just really excited. We're going to be really narrowing down our search and keeping it very specific on the kind of people that we would want to join our site. The other thing is too, obviously we can't discriminate who can and cannot join. And so that's why we've put into place certain measures. So if you're wondering, that's why we have like a little, we're very clear in our messaging. This is who the site is for. So if you go to the homepage, it says it all there. Even when people go to sign up, we have like a trigger warning that flashes up as a pop-up that says like, hey, this is who this site is for. If this is not you, please do not join. It's one of the reasons we have a cost associated, because we know that scammers, people who do not have honorable intentions, people who aren't looking to meet people that would be in this kind of environment aren't going to pay to be on a platform like that. They're not going to get anything out of it. So it's one of the reasons why there's a cost associated as well. It ensures a very different quality of people, I'm hoping, that will be available on the platform as well. And so all that to say, that's coming underway and it's really exciting. And then also we have a matchmaking platform that's going to be launching. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about, because I love matchmaking. I love setting people up. Guys, I have set so many people up recently. Well, probably in the last year, but I've found recently more and more couples coming out of it. As I've been more and more intentional to like get to know people and see what they might like, and then go, hey, I have a friend I'd like to introduce you to. One couple that I introduced have been dating for 3 months now. They made it official about 3 months ago, and they are just thriving. And it all just started with one matchup. Another couple that I set up are on their 4th date, and they're just getting to know one another. And they're like, thank you so much, because even if this goes nowhere, I'm having the most incredible and most redemptive experience with this person, and dating is super fun. There have been couples that I've, set up who have had 8 or 9 dates, and then they've decided to go their separate ways and decided to just be friends. But again, they had an incredible dating experience with an incredible person. Yes, it wasn't like a romantic connection, or they couldn't see it going beyond that. They didn't have peace about it. But they're still friends to this day, and they still, will hang out in groups and just really blessed each other's lives. And so I've seen so much incredible fruit that has come from literally just saying, hey, I know someone who, maybe I can set you up with, and them going, okay, yes, please do that. And so this new matchmaking platform that we're launching, I'm super excited about, because I get to do that, but in a really in a much more focused way. We're going to have a free database that people can join. So you can literally join for free and put in all your details, what you're looking for. And then when one of the people that we're working with, I should say, one of our clients, comes to us and says, hey, this is what I want. If you're a match for them, we can actually not only match you, but you guys can choose, like, yes, do I want to get to know that person or not? And then we actually can go about initiating an introductory video call. We can initiate dates, and then we also get feedback after the date. And it's all done on the same platform, on this one platform. Sorry, it's not the Agape dating platform, it's a different platform, but it's all done within this one area. And so you can literally be matched, say yes or no, do a video call all in the same place, and then give feedback on, what you enjoyed about the person, anything else that, might be helpful to know, what you didn't enjoy about the person. Then we can kind of, especially for our clients, the feedback really helps to say, oh, okay, maybe you didn't love this aspect of this person, or you found this really challenging. Okay, that's really good. That helps us to get even more narrow in our view of who we're looking for you. And we get to be really, really intentional about setting the people that we're working with up on dates. And also the great thing about this, it means that people who are actually asking for dates are the ones who want to be dating, they're serious about marriage, and they're willing to actually invest in that and really go after it in the season. So for me, my heart is I want to work with those people, whether it's the Agape dating platform or the matchmaking platform, who really want to go after marriage. They're not just coming into a singles group to just kind of be a fly on the wall and watch, and not that there's anything wrong with that. But I really want to partner with people who are radically going after, like, yes, I want to be married. Like, this is a season for that. I'm feeling the Lord on it. There is a grace. There is a peace. And what can I practically do to partner my faith with what God is doing? And for many people, this looks like actually stepping out. I see a lot of people sitting back and complaining that they're single, but they don't actually do anything to step out. And they're not in a waiting season, but they've definitely put themselves in a waiting room, or they've benched themselves. So they're in the waiting room that actually they're not meant to be in. It's a self-imposed waiting room. It's different, very different than a waiting season. And so I found as people are more intentional, as they go out, as they start to do things, they will find people that they click with. They will find dates. And they're partnering with their faith with God's. And so they're partnering their action with faith. And so I love that. It's like that faith without works is dead. Obviously, they're talking about good works. I'm not skewing the scripture. But I think it also applies in this, like, oh, we can have faith for something. Oh, God's called me to be a doctor. Awesome. So you still have to go and do the 8 years of university, but trusting that he'll meet you in there. And I really do believe it's the same for dating. Oh, I believe that God's called me to be a wife or to be a husband. Okay, what actions can you do to partner your faith with God's and actually see him show up for you in this way? But you've actually got to do something and step out. And the people that I see stepping out, honestly, they're the ones who get dates. They're the ones who go out with people. They're the ones who give things a chance. They're the ones who grow as a person, even if they're not getting into a committed relationship with their date. And so I'm really excited to be part of that process. And the other element in the matchmaking that I'm really excited about is the coaching element. So actually getting to sit down with people who are serious, they want to be matched, they're part of the matchmaking program that we'll have, and actually coaching them through dating and coaching them through struggles and coaching them through blockages that they've had in their life when it comes to dating. I think that's super, super important. And I really do see God showing up in this way. I have been doing coaching. If you've heard some of our previous podcasts, I've been doing coaching with some girls, and I had done them over the summer, and they had so much breakthrough. I'm still getting messages. I mean, we finished doing it, I think, end of July, end of August, sorry. So about 2 months ago, and I'm still getting messages from both of those girls saying how much coaching changed their life. How much it changed their dating, how much it changed their perspective. One girl is currently getting to know somebody, and just how much God is actually doing because of the coaching process, and how much freedom and breakthrough, and how their friends are saying, you actually don't look like the same person anymore. Like the way you're talking, the way you're showing up, there's just so much freedom on your life. What did you do? And so I'm really excited to partner with people and to coach them through that process and help them to walk in freedom as well. I see that as such an important part of dating, is actually having people walk alongside you and say, hey, we see this thing in your life. Like, is this serving you? Or what is that bringing up? Is that something that needs to be there? Or even past wounds, like, hey, how can we work through that? And then also giving challenges, that actually push comfort zones and bring things up, and it really allows the Holy Spirit to bring things up in that moment and talk to you about what's going on in my heart? Why am I feeling nervous? Oh, it comes back to this belief that I have about myself. Ooh, actually, that's super not in line with what God says about me. Okay, that thing needs to go. It's just a really fun process. And so, yeah, I just really wanted to tell you about that. I'm super excited about it. Honestly, guys, I would just really encourage anybody who's listening, if you want to be married, start by asking your friends to set you up. Married friends are great, but single friends can do it too. They know you, they know your heart. Let them know what you're looking for. I know people who've even written out like a little, not a resume, but kind of like, hey, this is who I am. You guys know me super well. This is the kind of woman I'm looking for. Can you set me up with somebody like this that you know? Can you have a think? And if you know somebody like this, can you set me up with them, please? And then I encourage, I'm like, if you're going to ask people to set you up, ask them to do it. Like, hey, would you be willing to set me up with someone? And they say yes. Cool. Would you be able to do that in the next 2 weeks? Give them some sort of deadline, because I find people are a little bit like, yeah, we'll do that, and then they like forget about it. But if they really do commit to it and they like want to do it, just ask them to do it by a certain period of time, because then you're not just sitting around waiting and they're actually thinking about it, But incredible matches have come from that. Incredible introductions have come from that. I've known multiple friends who have done that. And, for me, matchmaking is just super fun. I love setting two people up and they get together and then they actually start to create like a life together. Through the dating sphere, they're not giving their heart away too quickly, like they're not rushing or anything like that, but you do start to create like this life where you like hang out and you do life together, and it's really exciting for me to see that and to see the fruit that can come from matchmaking, because the way I see it, it's really an introductory opportunity. So I'm just introducing two people and then the rest is up to them. But when you actually get to introduce two people based on Holy Spirit, based on what you feel like the Lord's saying, based on what their preferences are, I just feel like there's so much more opportunity for success. And success can look like, yes, they get into a relationship, or success can look like, hey, they've had a really great experience with a member of the opposite sex, and they've learned a lot about themselves and have actually come out the other side better than before the experience started. And so coaching people around that too, I think, is really important. There are so many things that I see some people doing or hear some people doing when it comes to dating. I'm like, oh no, that is really unfortunate. Or, that could have been avoided. I really do want to see people dating God's way. And I do believe there is a God's best way for dating. And, what is it? Romans 8:14 says that those who are led by the Spirit of God are sons of God. And I think when we're in action and we're asking God to lead us and we're open to his voice and his speaking into those things, dating is such a fun process, and it helps us to get sharper in hearing God's voice, and we can actually delve deeper into who God created us to be. All sorts of things can come up. Identity issues usually are a really big one, but I find God uses this process to do that. To bring things to the surface so that he can get them rid out of our lives. And I'm like, what a good God. What an amazing Father that he wants to partner with us in everything. He wants to partner with us in our job. He wants to partner with us in our friendships. He wants to partner with us, when we're sick and just lying in bed. He wants to partner with us in our dating. And also, I think on that, kingdom dating looks like seeing character before anything else. The amazing thing I noticed about my husband, I was sick this weekend, and he was pretty sick too, but he was less sick than me. He was like the lesser of the two. I always say like the lesser of the evils. Like he was sick, but he wasn't as like, I was pretty bad. And so he, even like 2 days ago, I come home, I was at home, he came home, and he had worked all day, and he went straight to like the pharmacy and got me some stuff. And then he came home and then he made us dinner and then he did the dishes and just looked after me so I could just relax. I was so thankful to have a man with such incredible character, and he is such an incredible support. He is so incredibly kind to me when I don't deserve it sometimes. I can be a bit of a butt. But I'm like, character is what matters. Like, character is what's going to be there when they don't look the same way. Character's going to be there when they have a dad bod, or, I think dad bods are kind of cool though. I like the dad bod, but you know what I mean? Like, you get what I'm saying. Character's what's going to last. Character's what's going to look after you when you're sick. Character's what's going to be there when you're worried about your kids, you know, something happening with your kids, and they're there to hold you. And they're not freaking out or like getting all angry and having like a rager. You know, characters, what's going to be there when there's really tough times. Like, do they turn to like alcohol, drugs, gambling, like porn? Like, do they turn to other things, or are they turning to God? I love that when really tough things happen, Nick is like straight before the Father. And he actually had quite a personal revival recently where God just met him in a way like he hasn't been meeting him for a really long time. And Nick has just been absolutely rocked. And really, I can just say it's been like a personal revival. And I love that even when Nick wasn't super feeling the Lord all the time, he was so diligent in pursuing him. And wanting to live for him and being like, okay, how can I be the best husband to Beth as I possibly can be? Lord, what do I need to work on? And he just constantly goes before the Father and asks, what do I need to work on? What does she need? How can I love her well? You know, character is what you'll end up with at the end of the day. And I can't imagine, oh my gosh, it would be the hardest thing to be with somebody and they just have terrible character. Like, you know, they're flipping out at waitresses over some small thing that's gone wrong with their food, or, you know, they're prone to rage and violence, you know, or they're super narcissistic and everything's about them. And so imagine being sick with somebody who's really narcissistic. I can't see them looking after you too much because it's, again, it takes away from it being all about them. And so I guess that's a really good point to end on. I just want to encourage you. Look for character. And I think matchmaking can come in so well in this area because your friends and family will see things in others that you might miss. But usually they'll look for incredible character. They're not as swayed by a pretty face as you will be. They're looking at the heart more because they're not looking for themselves, so there's way less high stakes for them. They're looking at who would you probably get along really well with. And I'm the same. When I'm looking to match people up, I'm thinking, okay, who would get along? Like, oh, I think these two, they both love Jesus so much. Oh, they're going to have a great experience. They're going to be compatible regardless of what ends up. They're going to have a really good experience and walk away feeling better off than when they entered into the experience. And they both have incredible character. Now, obviously, through a site, we're going to have that database that people can join. Different types of people can join. People can, I guess, lie on their applications. But I think it's really the questions that we're asking, the faith-based questions, are going to be really hard to fudge. And to kind of get, kind of try and be sneaky with, because they really do go to the core of who somebody is. And I'm really excited. We're asking questions like, how do you spend time with Jesus every day? Like, what does your faith look like? Things to really help us to dig up, like, who is this person and what is valuable to them? And so hopefully then we can match really incredible people with them. And I'm really excited about that process. I'm excited to see marriages come from what we're doing, and the soil that we're really trying to till here, and the harvest that will come. And I wrote on my wall 100,000 marriages, and I'm believing for that. I believe that in my lifetime, that's the number God gave me. That's how many people I want to see get married. And, so yeah, that's why we're doing what we're doing. But yeah, if you have any questions, like, feel free to reach out at agape, agape@gmail.com. Agape dating, sorry, AGAPHEY dating, DATING @gmail.com. You can, put any questions that you have about what we're doing. Anything else, you can just literally contact us there. Otherwise, guys, thank you for listening. I am super excited for what God is doing. Isn't he so incredible? Oh my gosh, he is amazing. And it's just the privilege of our lives to get to partner with him in what he's doing and just be a vessel and allow him to move through us. Guys, I hope you have an incredible day. Bye.